Geeta Dhyanam. O Bhagavad Gita, by which Arjuna was illumined by Lord Krishna himself, and which was composed of 18 chapters within the Mahabharata by the ancient sage Vyasa. O Divine Mother, destroyer of rebirth, who showers the nectar of oneness upon us. O Bhagavad Gita, my affectionate mother, on thee I meditate. All the Upanishads are the cows. The milker is the cowherd boy, Krishna. Arjuna is the calf. People of purified intellect are the drinkers. And the milk is the supreme nectar of the Gita. My salutations to the Lord, who is the source of supreme bliss, whose grace makes the mute eloquent and the crippled cross mountains. Hari Om Tat Sat. Okay. We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the Lord. So the Hert Sutta discussion yesterday evening was very interesting as it relates to this. It'll come in. So, where we were yesterday, to move on from there, is that Arjuna has come to this place where rapt attention, and we were looking at the power of awareness and the ability to tune awareness and to intensify it. Intensifying means to get all of the dross, all of the waves, all of the other distractions, etc., out of the way and focus the awareness. And so this is where Arjuna has found himself. He's lost himself in this cosmic vision. And now he's starting to come back out of this, but still coming out of it with a deeper state of realization, a very practical knowing that God, the Absolute, is all of this. A very practical knowing of it at this point. What does that mean? Well, we'll see it as this continues on, but he's had an experience which confirms what he's coming to know, and that is that this one truth, this one divine, here Krishna, is the all in all. That everywhere I look, you are what I see. Whether I look inside or I look outside, still you are what I see. We talked yesterday morning about the significance of the waters, the offering of the waters in the puja, right? And who am I offering it to when I'm offering it to the different directions? Yeah. Who am I offering it to? And so he's come to this place and he's so humbled by it. And this is what happens. And we were having this discussion, and it has to happen. It has to happen. For us to be at peace, we have to come out of these mental constructs, taking the mental constructions as being the realities. And that's what they are. So there's no doubt that you and I exist, but we both exist in something which is existence itself. And our existence is not separate, it's interdependent. For you to exist, I have to exist. For me to exist, you have to exist. For any one of us to exist, the totality has to exist. And so all of these constructs that we've been dealing with, every single one of them, when we really start to investigate, they come crashing down. So this idea that you and I are separate as well comes crashing down. Thank God. Thank God. So Arjuna finds himself here so humbled, so awestruck at the realization that you, who are my own reality, who are my own life, who are the father, mother of this mind, of these thoughts, of this breath, of this digestion, of these elements, of this skin, of the sun, of the moon, of all of the functions, all of the laws within this world, and that you are the father, mother of all of this. And what do we also find? And I am with you, and I am never apart from you, and my reality itself is you. And so to the extent that we allow it, it absolutely rocks our world. This knowledge destroys all of what we think we knew. And it reorders it. It doesn't mean that the things that you thought you knew are valueless, but it means that in and of themselves they were never important. They were never independent truths. They were never true on their own. They were relative truths, true in relationship to the divinity, which is the one reality here. And so Arjuna finds himself here just absolutely awestruck and humbled. And so he comes to this place of apology for all of the things I said, for all of the things that I did. I didn't realize that it was you. I thought it was you. I didn't realize it was the all in all that I was talking to all of this time. I didn't realize that when I took the pen from the office, you were there.
You were in the pen? That was his pen.
I didn't realize that when I cheated on the test, you were there. I didn't realize that when I got angry at so-and-so, it was you I was angry with. And by the way, this knowledge is so helpful. Because we say, if you're going to get angry, then at least get angry at God. And that will help out of the mess. It'll help to get out of the mental constructs as being some independent reality. You know, you want to get angry at Hari, recognize that you're getting angry at Hari. And then it's fine. Know who you're speaking with. And here, the shock of knowing who I'm really speaking with, who I'm really in relationship with here. And so, continuing, you are the father of the world and all that is in it, including the animate and inanimate. You are the supreme guru. Guru is a very significant word. And just for a moment, guru, of course, is meaning from dark to light. So Guru is that which takes us from darkness to the light. From, what does that mean in practical terms? We find that all of these mental constructs are actually shadows. That they're like smoke to the flame, all of them. And it doesn't mean that they're worthless, but it does mean that they're all aspects of the universal mind. They're not me, they're not mine, they're not who I am. And ultimately, like toys for the child, in order to have the peace, I will have to set them aside as my identity. I will have to set them aside as my identity. And I'll have to say, I am not these, but they're useful.
Tools.
They're tools, they're useful. This one works this way, this one works that way. And so there's a need of an understanding of the thoughts, not an identification with them, just like a hammer and chisel in the hands. So that's the place of darkness, where we imagine ourselves to be this body, which is not true. Body empty. No separate self here. Or we imagine ourselves to be fulfilled if we have this or we have that. Or if the wind blows from the north at 5.5 miles per hour. If our conditions are met. This is the place of darkness, where we imagine ourselves to be separate, alone, and incomplete. This is the place of darkness. So Guru is that which brings us from this place of darkness into the light. I am the light. I and the Father are one. I am spirit. I am immortal. I am here with you. We're both of the same. It's not that I need to run away in the knowledge, but I'm free in the knowledge. Does that make sense? I'm free in the knowledge. Anything that happens here, it doesn't affect me, right? Because I'm free in the knowledge. The place of light. So Guru brings us from darkness to light. Guru's inside. But here again, very clearly, Arjuna says, you are the Guru. To Krishna, you are the Guru. Recognizing, personifying, as it were. Certainly the whole world should adore and worship you. In all three realms, O mighty one of unparalleled strength, nothing is your equal. Gracious Lord, I humbly bow before you and implore you to forgive me, like a father forgives his child, like a friend forgives a friend, like a lover forgives his or her beloved. And these moments like this are beautiful moments. I mean, there's an active handing over that's happening here. Right? And a very touching personal realization. And yes, this is a mental construct also. But in the scheme of things, beneficial. In the scheme of things, beneficial, it serves, because it allows an openness and a reordering of life into a life of union, into a life of unity, instead of discord and disturbance. So he continues, he says, I'm thrilled to behold you as no one else has, but my mind is disturbed. I am terrified by your cosmic form, O God of gods and abode of the cosmos. Mercifully show your more familiar form to me again. How?
Whoa, man.
Yeah. Oh, shoot, this is too much. I get it already. And the light is so intense. Turn it down a little bit, would you, brother?
Like a big goal.
I desperately want to see you as you were before, crowned with light and not with thousands of arms displaying your powers, but with 4 holding the mace and discus.
It's a little bit more manageable.
Yeah, this I can deal with. The Blessed Lord said, through my yogic powers, Arjuna, you have been blessed to see my cosmic form, which is radiant, omnipresent, and eternal. And then he goes on to say, great hero, no one else but you can see me this way, not those who study sacred scriptures, nor those who perform ritual offerings, nor givers of charity, nor those who follow all the prescribed religious observances, nor even by the austerities who embrace, by the ascetics who embrace austerities or tapas. Yeah, This is Upanishads. This is straight from the Upanishads. Who is the one who knows the truth? The interesting point about this is all of the stuff that's being talked about. They're all also mental constructs, and so, in order to have the darshan, one has to set aside all of the mental constructs. And how to break through? Only by offering oneself. Everything else is still ego stuff. So the study of the scriptures, the religious rites, all of this is still ego stuff. So it's I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. In order what? In order to have your darshan. I'm doing. But it turns out that only God sees God. In other words, only when you've gotten out of the way does that vision come. In the same way as the only way that you have meditation is when you get everything out of the way. And meditation is not actually yours. It's the funniest thing in the world. It is yours and it isn't yours. What does that mean? From a limited sense, it's not yours. As long as there's a limited being in the house, there's no meditation. Right? Is that? And as long as there's an Umadevi in the house, or Swami Shankarananda, there's no meditation. But then, from the deepest sense of I, the true I, the real I, then I am the meditator. Right? But what I'm experiencing here is a constant state of distraction. And so I just need to get the distractions out of the way. And the distractions are not I. So this speaks to the two apparent selves. It's two ways of looking at it, two different perspectives of the situation. From the limited self, there's no awakening for me. For the limited self, there's no seeing of the divine for me. But if I talk to myself as limited self and I say, but if I get myself out of the way, then I can participate in it. Then I can experience the bliss of it. From a limited standpoint, it's not me. In other words, it's not conscious mind. Really, conscious mind is a servant of that light, Krishna. And so if I speak to myself as conscious mind, I say, I need to get myself out of the way. Is that? Does that make some sense? I need to get myself out of the way. How best to get myself out of the way? I need to think of Krishna all of the time. I need to devote myself completely to Krishna, and I need to offer all of the fruit to Krishna. This is conscious mind speaking. How do I get myself out of the way? I have to get myself gainfully employed. I have to get myself wrapped up all of the time in the divine, in the awareness of the divine. I have to see only the divine. I have to break my head open, and I have to see you as who you really are, and me as who I really am, and I have to serve you, I, the highest, in this way. Conscious mind stuff, right? So that becomes sadhana. But then, if I find the capacity to speak as the real I say, but I am here all along. I am Satchidananda. I am the bliss absolute that you have been seeking, my child. And you see the same things being said, but from two different perspectives. And I am what is to be known here, this I, Satchidananda. I am the meditator. I am the eternal. This is not conscious mind perspective now. This is the perspective of Krishna. And so this voice is within us. Right? So from here I say, I just need to clear the dross away. I just need to focus my awareness. So this dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna is a dialogue that's happening within ourselves. Arjuna is coming from the perspective of conscious mind, and Krishna is coming from the perspective of the light. So the conversation, the discussion is not out there somewhere. It's the same discussion that's happening inside of each and every one of us. And it's the same process where the conscious mind is recognizing its own unreality. It's recognizing that I am not self-existent. I am empty in that I'm not what I've taken myself to be. I'm not any of these mental constructs. I'm not Swami. I'm not alone. I'm not apart. I'm not hungry. I'm not angry. I'm not a warrior.
Just going to
I'm not smart. I'm not stupid. I'm not manifest. I'm not unmanifest. I'm not co-creating. I am an aspect of you, my dear Lord. And I give myself back to you to do with as you will. Huh? You want me on this battlefield? Fine. You want me in this battlefield? Fine. So much potential for great relief in this. So this is Arjuna speaking to Krishna, and it's happening inside. And so Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, I've given only you this.
So that would mean we're all given it.
Yes, it does.
What did you say, Howard?
I said that would mean we're all given this.
When we ask for it.
Right.
And that's the point of, it's not by study, it's not by doing great things, because that's all conscious mind activity. That's all the greatness of the individual self. which is not existent in that way. So how do we receive it? By giving the self, giving oneself. This is why the yoga of devotion is the next chapter. This is where we're going. By giving oneself.
No fruit.
And does the little self gain something? No, but it loses what it needed to lose, which is independence.
Still bondage.
And therefore it loses the feeling of separation, the identity with the mental constructs, the anger, the fear, the anxiety, the stress, the tension, the delusion. Therefore, it loses all of this, which is really what it wanted. It didn't want to gain something because there's nothing to be gained. If it sees who it is and where it is, then all that it had ever wanted to gain is discovered to be right here, right now, wherever I am, wherever I go. And so, not by doing any of these can you gain this vision, but by giving yourself to me, says the light. Says the light. By giving yourself to me, then you merge into me. Then your reality is my reality, says the light. So, okay. So he removes that form. He says, there's no need for you to be afraid or confused any longer by looking at my awesome form. Let your heart be glad and your fears disappear. I will reveal myself to you again as I was before. And then Sanjaya said, after saying this, Krishna reappeared to him in his gentle, more familiar aspect and immediately calmed Arjuna's troubled mind. As conscious mind, sometimes I'll speak to the light and I'll say, in a particular situation that's really hard to understand, I will say, I really don't need to understand it. That's your job. I used to say all the time, I want to know.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
I need to know.
Just be present.
I can figure this out.
But once I came to realize what is to be known, then I don't need to know anything. I really don't. Because I know you and you know it. And again, no duality here. This is conscious mind speaking to the light. Which is a non-dual experience. There's no separation. So, but we have dialogue. It's okay, I really don't know. I don't need to be bothered with that. You're on top of it, I'm sure.
It's easier that way.
Oh, it's so much easier. It's so relieving. Just please make sure that I know what to do now.
I always tell God, I just say, I'm a C student. You've seen my track record. You want me to do something, put me where you want me.
Yeah, please be clear. Please be clear. And then, of course, we realize, oh, that's right. You did put me where you wanted me.
Where you always are.
That's where I am now.
Exactly.
This approach leads to a lot of silence. It's an active acceptance. It's not a passive acceptance. Does that resonate in any way? Mm-hmm. It's the kind of acceptance that keeps on accepting. And it really truly allows for joy to permeate. It really truly allows, because it allows the knowledge in conscious mind in this moment that I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And a complete and absolute acceptance of whatever the experience is. Why? Because you gave this. And I live for you. I live as you. I live with you. Wherever I go, there you are.
When you see what you're looking for, when you're looking for God, all you see is God.
Okay, so now he's withdrawn the vision, and Arjuna says, now that I see your gentle human form, my Lord, my mind is tranquil, and I am returned to normal, but it's a new normal. Okay. So tomorrow morning we'll continue, and I believe we'll close the Yoga of Cosmic Vision tomorrow morning. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Anything this morning?
In that aspect of knowing exactly where we are, because in my past, I never thought I was where I should be. I should be here, there, or the other place, or striving to get there, instead of just being present. And that's a realization.
Well, and the striving from the conscious mind perspective, the striving is to control myself. To bring myself into the light, to keep myself in the light.
Conscious.
That's the striving. Yeah. Which is not a physical striving, but it is nonetheless a striving.
Oh, yes.
And then, as we discussed,
But it's present.
intensity is required. Intensity is required.
Big time.
There's so many forces in this inner world. And when we live and focus on an outer world, this imaginary outer world, we can miss the point of the work that needs to be done in the inner world. So acceptance is a thing. It's not a thing that like this, except it really is. But acceptance is a thing. In other words, to actually accept, you have to do the inner work. And to see, no doubt, this purification is absolutely required. Because otherwise, we just see what we want to see. Here it's funny because Arjuna said, I wanted to see this, and then he realizes, but wait, I didn't really actually. But I had to see it. In other words, it wasn't pleasant. The experience was not pleasant. Okay, so let's close. Final prayer in RT, page 174. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Orvai Rukameva Vandanan Mritor Mukshiyamamritat Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Orvai Rukameva Vandanan Mritor Mukshiyamamritat Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Orvai Rukameva Vandanan Mritor Mukshiyamamritat Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Shantu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyanto Makashitu Prabhave Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Mahamritam Gamaya Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnamudashate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O adorable Lord of mercy and love, salutations and prostrations unto thee. Thou art omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. Thou art Satchidananda. Thou art existence, knowledge, and bliss absolute. Thou art the indweller of all beings. Grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion, and wisdom. Grant us inner spiritual strength to resist temptation and to control the mind. Free us from egoism, lust, anger, greed, hatred, and jealousy. Fill our hearts with divine virtues. Let us behold thee in all these names and forms. Let us serve thee in all these names and forms. Let us ever remember thee. Let us ever sing thy glories. Let thy name be ever on our lips. Let us abide in thee forever and ever. Humble our Sacred Shivananda Maharaj Geeta, and for all of the saints and sages of all the traditions. Okay, let's rise for our